a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Lead me on, Lord, from temptation. Purify me from within. Fill my heart with thy Holy Spirit. Take away all my pain.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Sanctuary for you, sanctuary for you.
Aloha. We thank you for being here with us at Unity Church of Hawaii on this Marathon Sunday. Marathon meaning out there, not in here. You know, we want you to know that we have a statement of purpose that I want you to say along with me, or say after me rather. Centered in God,
Centered in God,
we are transforming lives
Transforming lives
and inspiring people
and inspiring people
to make a positive
to
difference
make a positive difference
in our world.
in our world.
If you want to make a positive difference, then please stand and let God turn it around in you.
God's gonna turn it around in you. God's gonna turn it around in you. Your situation is just an equation that only God can solve. So open up your heart, God's gonna turn it around in you. God's gonna turn it around in you. God's gonna turn it around in you.
Now let's sing that again.
God's gonna turn it around in you.
God's gonna turn
God's
it
gonna
around.
turn it around in you.
Your situation, just an equation.
Just an equation that only God can solve. So open up your heart, God's gonna turn it around in you.
God's gonna turn
God's
it
gonna
around.
turn it around in you.
Oh yeah.
God's gonna turn it around in you.
Now do this with us.
Here we go. So feed your faith and starve your doubt. God's working it out. So feed your faith and starve your doubt. God's working it out. So feed your faith and starve your doubt. God's working it out. So feed your faith and starve your doubt. God's working it out. God still has a plan for you.
God's got a a plan for
God
you.
still has a plan for you.
Oh, your hope,
Give you a hope,
hope and a
hope and a
future.
future. God hears you when you pray.
Oh, so
Trust it all the way. God still has a plan for you.
God's got that plan
God
for you.
still has a plan for you.
Oh, yes.
Rest assured, God still has a plan for you.
And all you've got to do is
So feed your faith and starve your doubt. God's working it out.
God's working it out for you and you.
So feed your faith and starve your doubt. God's working it out.
God's gonna work it out for you.
So feed your faith and starve your doubt. God's working it out. So feed your faith and starve your doubt. God's working it out. God still has a plan for you.
God's got a plan
God
for you.
still has a plan for you.
Give you a hope,
Give you a hope,
hope and a
hope
future.
and a future. God hears you when you pray.
Oh, so
Trust it all the way. God still has a plan for you.
He's got that plan for you.
God still has a plan for you.
Say it.
Rest assured, God still has a plan for you. God's gonna turn it around in you.
Now, what's God gonna do for you? He's gonna turn it around, right?
God's gonna turn it around in you.
There you go. All right. Now, don't sit down. We want you to remain standing. Fist bumps, handshakes, elbow bumps, hugs, whatever you got to do. Greet your neighbor and welcome them to Unity Church of Hawaii. All right, here we go.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Every day,
Every day,
every way,
every way, every day, in every way, I'm gonna let my light shine. Walking in the light of God.
Walking in the light of God, don't you know?
Walking in the light of God.
And let your little light shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
every day,
Every day,
every way,
every way, every day, in every way, I'm gonna let my light shine. Oh yes, I'm gonna let my light shine. Oh yes, I'm gonna let my light shine. Oh yes, I'm gonna let my little light shine. Walking in the light of God.
Just keep on walking in the light of God.
Walking in the light of God.
Walking and walking and walking.
Walking in the light of God. Walking into the light.
Oh, wow, yes. And as you walk back to your seats, what a wonderful song. And so I want to welcome you here to Unity Church of Hawaii. And while you were meeting and greeting one another, you may have noticed a new face in the crowd or someone you haven't seen in a long time. So if this is your first time at Unity Church of Hawaii or first time in a long time, I invite you to rise, to stand, because we do have some gifts for you. And the first gift And if you feel to do so, if you can rise and say thank you. So the first gift you have received or you will receive is a kukui nut leg, which represents the light, the love of this spiritual community and these islands. The second gift is a welcome packet that has information about this spiritual community along with a voucher for a free brunch on us. Just fill that out. Follow us to the courtyard after service today and enjoy fellowship on us. And then we have a third gift for you, and that is a blessing from us to you. So, friends, let us get our blessing hands ready to bless our first-timers and first-time and long-timers together. Friends, we bless you.
Friends, we bless you.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
We are so glad you're here.
We are so glad you're here.
We're beholding the Christ as you.
We're beholding the Christ as you.
Welcome to Unity.
Welcome to Unity.
Thank you so much. You may have your seat. Those on this blessing, those online as well, this blessing goes to you as well. And before we continue, there are a couple of announcements.
Join our Folks with Faith gathering Saturday, April 25th at 10:30. This is a safe, supportive, faith-informed, and inclusive space where individuals from all walks of life can explore LGBTQI plus spirituality, personal growth, and healing. The location of this month's meeting will be announced shortly. Join licensed Unity teacher June Dillinger on Saturdays in May from 9 to 11 a.m. in the cottage for Eye of the Storm, Embracing Conflict, Creating Peace. In this course, you'll learn to transform fear into fearlessness, resistance into non-resistance. This course is ideal for anyone struggling with relationship discord or personal challenges and, in general, for everyone who feels uncomfortable with conflict. This class is $40 for those seeking C credit and is being offered on a love offering basis for all other participants. You'll need to purchase the book online prior to the class start. Sign up after service at the usher's table. After service today, come to the courtyard for a delicious brunch, great conversation, and connection, all for only $7. We have more classes, events, and ways to connect happening at Unity. Check out the bulletin by scanning the code on your screen or by clicking the link. Mahalo.
Good morning, Reverend Margie.
Good morning, Thomas.
You're warmed up. Maybe I'm not even on.
Oh, I think-
Oh, my goodness.
Ah, well, then I'll do a soft shoe until you get yourself live and
Am I
maybe
on now?
maybe pull me down a little bit.
Well, anyway.
Yes,
good
good morning.
Reverend Margie. It is so great. Didn't we have a wonderful Easter service
Oh,
last
we did.
Sunday? It was
Easter-
just beautiful,
Were you
beautiful,
here?
beautiful.
Easter was amazing. Thank you to Reverend Ryan and Reverend Johanna and our music team.
Absolutely, absolutely. Exactly.
Exactly. It
And
was
not only did we have that, but you want to tell them about last night and the night before? Yes.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday?
Your board of trustees and on Friday evening, a number of our ministry leaders gathered together for a retreat on Friday and Saturday. We had an extraordinary experience of sharing time together, getting a little bit more acquainted, everybody together on Friday evening, a lot of fun, a lot of laughter. And Saturday, we kind of got down to some serious work. Well, you know, some serious work. And just are furthering where we're taking this community and our hopes and dreams and exploring that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and it was just great to be able to commune and be able to spend time with one another.
Yeah.
That was just
It
a
was-
beautiful, beautiful time.
Yes. Yeah.
We also have this afternoon at
Big
noon.
news.
Yeah,
Big
please.
news. We are having a town hall meeting this afternoon at noon, right here and right there online as well. You can be here in person with us, go down and have your brunch and then come back, or join us online. We will be having conversation with Reverend Johanna Kelly, our associate minister, Reverend Ryan Souza, who has stood in for us these last 6 months so consistently and wonderfully as guest speaker. As we explore together the idea of what a co-minister-led leadership team could look like here at this Unity Church. It's a model that's in place in a number of churches. We haven't used it before now, but we've sort of been having a little glimpse of what that might look like, at least on Sundays these last few months.
Exactly. And I think that part of the enthusiasm that we've seen, not only at the Easter time, but also just in general, is because of the enthusiasm and the energy that is present in Reverend Ryan and Reverend Johanna.
Absolutely.
They can really lift things up, and it is wonderful.
Yeah.
It is really wonderful. The board has dedicated a lot of time on looking at and listening to and spending some time with Reverend Ryan and Reverend Johanna, looking at what would a co-ministry look like. And we're going to be able to spend some time at noon to do just that with everybody, so everybody can get in on the flow of what it is that we're looking at doing.
And you'll have a chance to ask questions. And we really hope that in addition to all the enthusiasm we see, if you have any concerns or wonderings about what this will look like or what we envision, please ask what you might be holding back as you think is an uncomfortable question. We're a big enough community to hold all the questions and hopefully give you all the answers you're looking for.
Exactly, and I think there's some papers over here that people can put little notes on to be able to, go ahead.
Yeah, well, we didn't want you to be cold at the question time, so Tina's waving over there on the side. Please, after service, pick up one of these questionnaires and just jot down your thoughts, because if you need to leave and can't stay, then we would ask your question for you here. And you'll get to see the answer on the recording later on.
Exactly, and we'll have a lot of instructions that'll be present with regards to that when we start on that whole process, okay?
And you'll have the whole board, well, most of us, whoever is here today, and some staff people up here with Johanna and Ryan supporting them so that we can all answer questions that are appropriate for whomever. So
Exactly, it'll be a great
bring
time.
your energy.
Bring
Thanks.
it up.
Long preserved for our walk in this world. They resound with God's own heart. Oh, let the ancient words impart. Words of life, words of hope, give us strength, help us cope in this world where'er we roam. Ancient words will guide us home. Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you. They come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart.
Take a deep breath with me, family. Into that space where the energy of God, the grace of God, the movement of God is alive, right at the center of your being. Perhaps you feel that presence of the divine spirit in your heart space, in your belly, your na'au, wherever. Center into that awareness in this moment, calling forth your intentional connection to be in relationship with that divine spirit. We call on that energy for all the moments and movements of our lives, trusting and knowing that whatever we give voice to as a need, as an intention, as a dream, that creative, active power is working for our highest good always. So if you are in moments of question or moments of turmoil in your life, ask, what is Spirit leading you forward to in this moment? What wants to open in your mind and your heart and inspire you to move forward? What answers of Spirit are there to meet your needs in times of illness or challenge or wondering, what's my next step? All of these questions arise from within us when we cultivate our deep connection to Spirit in prayer, meditation, the study of the presence of Spirit within us. Whatever is on your heart this morning, know that God is already at work within you to create the perfect solution. We say, thank you, God. We say yes to the work we are called to do. You say, thank you, God. And so it is.
Words of life, words of hope, give us strength, help us go in this world, where'er we roam. Ancient words will guide us home. Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart.
Repeat with me the statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives, God, the good, omnipotent. I've been thinking about time and where does it go? How can I stop my life from passing me by? I don't know. I've been thinking about family, how it's going so fast. Will I wake up one morning just wishing that I could go back? I've been thinking about lately, maybe I can make a change and let you change me. So with all of my heart, this is my prayer. Singing, oh Lord, keep me in the moment. Help me live with my eyes wide open. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have for me. Singing, oh Lord, show me what matters. Throw away what I'm chasing after. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have for me. Keep me in the moment.
Jesus,
Oh, keep me in the moment.
Jesus,
Keep me in the moment. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have for me. When I wake up in the morning, Lord, touch my heart. Don't let me stray, I just wanna stay where you are. All I got is one shot, one try, one go around in this beautiful life. Nothing is wasted when everything's placed in your hands. Singing, oh Lord, keep me in the moment. Help me live with my eyes wide open. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have for me. Singing, oh Lord, show me what matters. Throw away what I'm chasing after. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have for me. Keep me in the moment.
Jesus,
Oh, keep me in the moment.
Jesus,
Keep me in the moment. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have for me. I've been thinking about unity and the promise you hold. So it's all eyes on you. Here's hoping the truth will unfold. Singing, oh Lord, keep me in the moment. Help me live with my eyes wide open. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have for me. I don't wanna miss. Keep me. Oh Lord, show me what matters. Throw away what I'm chasing after. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have for me. Oh, keep me in the moment.
Jesus,
Yes, keep me in the moment.
Jesus,
Keep me in the moment. 'Cause I don't wanna miss what you have. I don't wanna miss. the moment, 'cause I don't want to miss what you have for me.
Indeed, indeed. You can just keep giving it up. Oh my goodness, that was phenomenal. Keep me in the moment. I am inspired. Speaking of inspired, today's inspirational reading is indeed inspired by today's message. And it begins with an affirmation. So I'd like you to repeat after me. It is simple, it is powerful, and here it is. I am guided by divine wisdom. Together, I am guided by divine wisdom. And our reading continues. Oh, friends, we gather. We gather in the reminder that wisdom is not something outside of us to be earned or achieved. It is the quiet, steady presence of divine intelligence already alive within us, guiding our thoughts, shaping our choices, and illuminating the way forward. When we pause and listen, wisdom speaks more than words. It speaks in intuition, in compassion, in the gentle nudge toward what is loving and what is life-giving. Wisdom invites us to trust in our inner light, even when the path is not fully revealed. As we follow this inner guidance, we grow in grace. Grace is the ease of aligning with Spirit, the spaciousness that allows us to be human and holy at the same time. Human and holy at the same time. Friends, grace reminds us that growth does not require struggle. Listen to that again. Grace reminds us that growth does not require struggle, only willingness. Oh, only willingness. Growing in grace means that we meet ourselves and one another with kindness. We bless our missteps as teachers, our questions as doorways, and our becoming as sacred work. Today, friends, we affirm that we are guided by wisdom, clear, compassionate, and available at every moment. We are growing in grace, expanded by love, grounded in trust, and open to possibility. We are open, friends. May we walk gently with ourselves. May we listen deeply to one another. And may we move forward together, guided by wisdom, growing in grace, and anchored, friends, anchored in the truth that we are not alone. And together let us affirm, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Thomas. Straightforward. Good morning. Do any of the rest of you have the experience of Spirit waking you up in the middle of the night? You get a little gentle nudge? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so maybe sometimes it's my bladder, but last night I was very certain. Could we settle down the echo I'm hearing, Jonah? Yeah, thank you. I was really certain that it was Spirit shaking me awake, and the message was, that's a nice talk you had prepared, but we're kind of going to start over this morning. So you're just going to have to hang with me today if you give me a little grace, because this is somewhat uncomfortable territory, not to be as prepared as I like. Don't worry, I can always fill up space with words, right? Y'all know that, right? Yeah. Well, I had a very reflective weekend with our board retreat, and it must have rattled something loose, because I really woke up realizing I had something different to say than my original plan. It was this stormy weather, I probably has had some influence over the last few weeks, that I was thinking about the patterns of our life, the ebb and flow seasons, if you like, in all of our lives. The seasons that are about our soul and our growth, the way seasons cleanse us and sometimes sweep out the old, sometimes violently, preparing the ground for something new. And the question always comes, what wants to show up next? One of my mentors always said the prayer, "What's next, God?" was really dangerous words for the human to put out into the space, because it invites the expansiveness of Spirit to move fully into that opening. And so today, we're asking, what next in this community? And we hope you have good answers and wonderful questions to steer that exploration along with us today. But in my life, one of the questions I'm living with right now is, where will I next live? The building I've been occupying for more than a decade is due to be torn down this summer. So I have a hard deadline to move and find someplace new where I will live. And I very much want it to be here in Honolulu. And so I always have had a sense of equanimity and comfort when these changes happen in my life. My family has this joke that, Margie, we write your information in our address book in pencil because you move so often. And I have over my lifetime. And in that experience, I have also had a great deal of peace and comfort knowing that the next right place would show itself in that flow of God's grace, in that movement of spirit when I release all of my thinking and worry and anxiety and imagining the worst and find that space of the creative energy of imagination that makes a new experience real and easy and in the flow. That's always been my gift, to have comfort about that and working with God in this situation, co-creating with the energy of spirit. Now, it is true, sometimes God and I have an 11th hour relationship around where I'm going to live next. So I'm affirming this time that it comes easily and effortlessly. But I'd welcome any recommendations or suggestions anybody has. Or if you're looking on my behalf, I always appreciate that. But in this place of trust, I know that whatever shows up next, even as I'm living in the question and the mystery of it, it will be for my highest good. Do you know that territory of peace and comfort within you in the midst of living through something that isn't exactly making peace in your mind and heart? Do you know that the ultimate answer of the universe, the ultimate plan that rolls out for you, for us in this community, is ultimately our highest good? Yeah? Am I hearing some feedback? Thank you, Peter. At least Peter's with me on this one. Do you know this is one of the single biggest ideas that we can embrace in our spiritual journey, that absolutely everything that unfolds, sometimes we don't like it in the moment. Sometimes we have periods of time where we're not like this season for a very long time. And yet, if we hold to this idea, because it's a spiritually true and active principle, that God is always unfolding everything and anything for our very highest good, it helps if we stay anchored to that idea and don't resist and don't work against the flow of the universe and the flow of that good energy. This is only speaking to these statements that we make every week. There is only one presence. Say it with me. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life. God the good, omnipotent. God the good. That's the only creative force in the universe. And if anything else shows up, it was human-made unskillfully, right? And God knows there is a lot of that going on in the world right now, a lot of unskillful creation happening. And our work around that issue is to decide what is ours to do and to hold to the truth that we know, that God is working in the midst of everything that's going on. There is no action that is taking place where God cannot center into the calm of that storm and bring a different experience, bring a different peace. If you watch the news, it's a very good idea to hold on to that truth in these times. But what we are doing here is growing into what Spirit wants us next to be in this community. And sometimes we find change not all that comfortable. Can I get an amen to that one? You'll agree with that one, right? But the truth is, life is always changing. The seasons shift. We start in spring when things are breaking into new and fresh energy. I remember that rhyme from childhood: April showers bring May flowers. Oh my God, will we have a crop of flowers here next month, right? And we can see it in the slopes of Diamond Head already, the benefit that comes from the blessing of the rain. And it's, we could say, overabundance these last several weeks. But the energy of change is always happening, whether it's the seasons or the seasons of our lives or the shift and change of leadership here in this community. I've been here 15 years, give or take. I have served with 5 different senior ministers, one of them twice, right? We've had transitional ministers, 2, and a couple of short-termers, so more than that, more transitional support than just 2. I trained in a cohort of 3 ministers, Reverend Levitt Thomas, Reverend Gary Kanye, and myself, who were associate ministers at the end of our mentor's tenure here. And then I trained and guided interns in their journey beginning toward ministry. Reverend Johanna can probably tell you tales. I hope I've paid her enough not to only tell you the good ones. But in this season of change, this is just what happens next, right? I mean, there have been places in my life where I wanted to like plant the stake and say, this is it, I'm done, and I'm having it this way the rest of my life. Do you know that one as well? Have you been that journey? And that journey creates struggle, doesn't it? Because life does not stay static. And if we are static, if we are really stuck, there's a better word for static, stuck in some place that we maybe really like, that may be really comfortable, but is not about growth and advancement and expansion and being all that we can be. To be static or stuck is just sameness. Now, there are moments when I would have preferred some sameness to hang in there in my life for periods of time, but I have enough experience to know that that's wishful thinking, not intentional practice. So we flow with the seasons. I grew up in the mainland, so I really did flow with the seasons. The spring that came out of winter and things began to break loose, and the summer when energy is high and vibrant and everything is in full bloom and crops are coming on the trees. I lived in an agricultural part of the state. I grew up in Washington. But then comes fall with its beauty of autumn colors, when it's time to harvest and enjoy the bounty of those crops, to bless what has happened in the previous seasons, and to recognize it's time to let go, to come into winter, which is a period of rest, where everything seems quiet on the surface, but deep underneath, there is something holy and sacred happening, because life is already beginning its process of renewal and recycling, even in what we think of as winter in our own lives. Periods of discontent and dissatisfaction and disruption are simply the winter season. And so if we're trusting that something miraculous is happening underneath the frost and the snow and the ice that we may feel at the surface, whether that's the real experience on the mainland or just the attitude of mind where everything seems cold and asleep, we have to trust that none of that is failure. It's that cycle of repetition, those seasons that are moving us into something that's new. It's not instability, it's just the process of life, and it's recycling, and it's renewal, and it's recharging us for what wants to unfold spiritually next within us. Sometimes we think that our faith means that we're holding on to what we know, to what has been. But wisdom, spiritual wisdom, which is the power that we are recognizing in this month in our system of 12 spiritual powers discerned by Charles Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity. Spiritual wisdom teaches us that faith is not about clinging, but it's about releasing in perfect divine time. It's about listening deeply to that movement of spirit, to feeling ourselves in the flow of that grace of God, which is just simply the natural activity of the power of spirit alive within each one of us and in our lives. Wisdom is discerning, and the faith to be in wisdom is to be open to knowing what the particular season you are in is asking for right now. So today, I want us to reflect on what our changing seasons of this ministry have led us to and how we can move through them together as beloved community as we face into the next coming changes. If we are guided by the spiritual power of wisdom And we combine that with there are 4 dimensional elements of the Integral Ministry Practice Program that we've been implementing across several years and growing into. And it always sounds so complex when Thomas and I are trying to distill a simple thing into a short message to give you up here and an update, or whenever we talk about these issues. Indeed, integral spirituality and its concepts, it's a complex system. But here's a simple way to think about it. It deals with 4 dimensions of every system of life, whether that's your individual personal life and some aspect of it, or it's the life of this community. There is always an inner life. So for you, it's about your spiritual journey and your practice of prayer and being engaged in meditation. There's the relational life, whatever that may be in this community. It's all of us together, but it could be your family unit, your workplace, wherever you are in relationship with others. That's another dimension of integral engagement with life. And then it moves into that outward expression, our actions, our behaviors in this community, how we are together in encouraging one another in our spiritual growth and journeys, and making the journey through the changes that have taken place and will continue to take place in this community. And then there's the system and the structure, the vessel that holds all of it in place to keep us organized and in that spiritual sense of order. And when we get to the month in the fall, when it's the summer, late summer, when we recognize that power of order, I am always really intentional about my practice around issues of order, because I'm not naturally an organized individual. And who's one of my best partners in this ministry and the work we do together in this church? Dr. Thomas Gallagher, who is infinitely organized. Bless him and his organized soul. Bless Tina Ziegler and her organized soul. Because some of the rest of us creative types, well, that's a slippery topic. And that's the purpose of our spiritual powers, so that as we are observing in a particular month, this system that Charles Fillmore designed as a training wheel tool set for our spiritual expansion and growth, that we can focus on the issue. Do we have that capacity? Do we need to embrace and expand that capacity? Because all of these qualities together lead us to the recognition of the Christ totality within us. The wholeness that is God, represented by the figure Jesus, and this capability of being this divine pattern of human perfect expression. Now, I'm still working on my perfect human expression. And I'm glad for these tools to help guide us. So there's the inner life, the relationship and the culture that we create together. There are actions and behaviors that arise out of both of those previous and culture. And then there's the vessel, the system, the structure that holds it all in place and keeps it on track. And because this transformation is never only inside of us, and it's never only outside of us, this is why we look at this system, because it speaks to a whole organic living organism. It's one way to view a community. And what do we know about organic living systems and organisms? They change. So if we just get used to change being the normal process of life, then we can sort of take a breath, right? Take a breath into that presence of spirit that wants to touch our hearts with this idea of expanding into the what next question is that's in front of us. It touches our community and the way we act and the way we organize ourselves. All of these are components of moving through the changing seasons filled with grace, acting from wisdom, and moving through all of these dimensions, kind of like sliding in and out of them as is called for, as is the season that's moving us. Charles Fillmore is the co-founder of Unity, and he described wisdom as our faculty of sound judgment. Now, that word judgment is kind of tended to become pejorative often in its use, but it means to discern, right? To discern with that underlying wisdom, not with the ego, which is trapped in our personality and the effects of it, our preferences, but to sort of step back into that space of quiet knowing where we can perceive things from a life-affirming sense, and then direct all of the rest of our facilities, our Christ capabilities, to act from this place of wisdom to move us forward in constructive ways. Charles taught that wisdom is more than our human reasoning, but this power of spiritual discernment and intuitive knowing that guides us forward, an inner capacity to recognize truth when you see it, hear it, and then to act in alignment with that truth as we are seeking to unfold the next steps in our lives. You know that feeling sometimes in your gut, your heart, wherever it registers for you, when you hear truth, when you are experiencing truth, right? You know what that is. You know the power of Spirit whispering to you gently. I always joke that Spirit whispers over here in this ear, and sometimes wake me up in the middle of the night. But wisdom is not mere intellectual capacity, or just collecting and assembling knowledge, or heeding our opinions that I certainly have many opinions, and I'm happy to offer them to you anytime you ask. But wisdom is a greater light that helps us know what belongs in this particular season, and importantly, what does not. Often we humans, because we experience life by contrast, we can determine much more easily first what we don't like. Or we respond first with, oh my, let me hold on tight, because I know I'm not going to like what's coming. I don't even know what it is yet, but I might not like it at all. Years ago, in some growing wisdom experiences in my marriage, we hit some bumps in the road, and a very wise friend and therapist said to us in a session, I have heard just enough about what you don't like about your marriage, one another. I'm not going to talk to you again until you can start telling me what you appreciate, what you like, why you were together in the first place, and how you're going to build on that. Isn't that a wonderful way to talk about what's coming next in our relationship, our vessel in this community, of how we want to move forward? What do we appreciate? What do we want to call forth? Because that's what appreciation does for us. Identify what we want and align our energy with that where it exists in that broader experience, so we can draw that which we already appreciate into our experience in greater, expanded, more spacious ways. Yes, it's good to know the counterpoint of what you don't want, but so it best illuminates what you do choose, what you hope for, what you are willing to give your energy to, because it inspires you and motivates you and calls you to that next step forward. We often look back and remember what our experience was like earlier being in this community, earlier in our marriage, personal relationship, some earlier stage in life, and think, if I could only recreate that. Now, this church has had a rich history. The 15 years that I have been here, especially the early years, much of it was, oh, I want that back. And many of us here in the community, I've had conversations with a lot of you who said, I remember back in the day when it was like this. And it's wonderful that we had those experiences and that we cherish them, but let's not get stuck in them as the guide for moving forward. Spirit, divine wisdom, that's the energy that wants to pull us forward into the future that is being called forth in this community at this time. So let's take a quick stroll through these 4 dimensions, 4 neighborhoods of being in integral awakening and spiritual practice, and specifically the integral ministry practice together. There's that inner life. This is our wisdom within. This is where we touch that space of the divine voice of wisdom that is already within each one of us. And if it doesn't feel like that voice is familiar to you, just practice. The tools with which we touch that inner space and that inner knowing are prayer and meditation. And we've got prayer chaplains who will talk with you after service. You have ministers here who can hold you in awareness and consciousness to lift you into that next new thing that wants to come forth in your life. I think there's no excuse not to be active in prayer in a unity community, because that's our bedrock foundation. Unity arose out of the personal experience, the personal and dramatic healing experience of Myrtle Fillmore, Charles' wife. While he was kind of poo-pooing and just sort of going along with Myrtle, Myrtle was having a dramatic healing of a life-threatening disease because she heard the phrase in a lecture, "I am a child of God, and I do not inherit sickness." If you have that issue of something physical, out of balance in your body temple, what a powerful statement to say, no, I don't claim that. I might be having that experience, but I will not own it as part of who I am. The divine part of me knows that I am this beloved child of God, this creation of the universe, and I have these divine capacities. It includes the power to recognize that that energy can guide me back to wholeness, which is the initial pattern of what our bodies are supposed to look like. Now, I can tell you, we get to have journeys often of illness, and sometimes they don't resolve in the way that we would like. It is simply the journey of living through whatever your physical experience is and still knowing that there is a presence active. There is wholeness that wants to guide you forward in the journey, that wants to recreate the truth of the physical pattern of divine wholeness. It's always an option, even in the midst of things that don't look like that would be possible. And I'm not just telling you woo-woo, fairy, airy stuff. I've lived it. I don't know that everyone here knows that a year ago I had a stroke. I was in Arizona. And it was the movement of God and this knowing that within me there was the pattern. I'm still working on getting back to dancing. Still working on that one. But the pattern existed within me that remembered how to walk with grace and flow and coordination and balance. And then the work is mine to do, right? It is not prayer and then just a la-di-da your way while God works it all out. No, you are called to do whatever implements this energy of God in your life. So we tend to our inner life, and we tend to the inner life of this community, nurturing our growth and development and spiritual journey together, supporting one another, being with one another in prayer and meditation, and knowing the truth for myself. And if you come to me and say, this is going on in my life, my response will be some version of, I will know the truth for you and with you. I will know the truth of your physical well-being and your emotional health and well-being and your wholeness of who you are. I will know the truth for you that God is guiding you in the perfect direction in your life, and you have the capacity to connect with that inner knowing because it's an innate capacity within you, this ability to touch into the wisdom of the divine mind. I will know the truth for you, and I will know the truth for this community. That's a great deal of my spiritual work, is holding the truth for this community as it is for Ryan and Johanna, as it is for our board of trustees, it is for Cindy and all of our chaplain team. We are here to know the truth and to call that forth in our mutual experience. So wisdom asks us to sit in silence with the truth, or sit in silence and listening for the truth to arise within you and still anything that feels like anxiety or despair, panic, fear. Sit in the silence and allow the voice of wisdom to arise within you. And as we find that wisdom, the work is not to be in control of it, it's to be in alignment with it. Do you feel the difference of that energy? Control is like that grip. Like, let me not lose control. Let me hold tight. I had a mentor that always said, the way to hold tight to spirit is with an open hand, as if you have feathers resting in your palm. So we just rest. We listen, and we allow that presence of the divine inner work, our deep sacred work, to be what guides us in moments of change. So the wisdom of developing a beloved community asks us a lot of questions. Can we meet change that is coming, that always will come, because it's always flowing? Can we meet those changes with faith, humility, and an openness to be in the flow of what wants to unfold? The second dimension that we look at is our relationships together. Because ministry is never just about what we do here on Sunday or all the rest of the programs that's going on. At a deeper level, spiritually particularly, it's about how do we speak with one another? How do we listen to one another? How do we disagree with one another? We had a wonderful session at our retreat this weekend of bringing the topic to a table of 15 people and inviting them to tell us what they thought, what they hoped, what they were concerned about. And everybody was able to speak with clarity, to sometimes invite what seemed like uncomfortable questions because it didn't look like what the majority was thinking. Are you ever sitting in a meeting and knowing that that's what's happening for you, is you know you have a question, but nobody else seems willing to venture into this territory because, oh, it could get icky, right? If we can be together in the space of honoring one another's opinions, then the wisdom that is arriving out of that difference is what can be the movement of this community forward. How do we handle uncertainty? That's a big question when we're facing one of those changes. Uncertainty doesn't seem so troubling when everything is settled and we know what the deal is and we know who our leader is and we know what's happening next week and next month and next year. Whew. But remember, that same place of already knowing what's going to take place, that's the neighbor to stuckness. So we always have to be open to hearing the voice that wants to call us to the next experience. Creating a beloved community does not mean there is never any tension or never any feeling of what's happening next and I don't know, or that we all think the same thing, or there's never any discomfort. No, creating beloved community means that we can work through all of those things that show up because it's a room full of humans, right? With all of those issues underneath us somewhere, moving us forward as much sometimes as the power of clarity, openness, and the presence of love. We are contending with all of that within ourselves and in this community. So our intention is to honor everything with dignity, to hold the space for all the opinions, and to practice remembering, this is a good one, practice remembering that that person in front of you with a different opinion or an outright disagreement is not the obstacle to your peace. That difference of opinion, disagreement, is not the obstacle to your peace. It is an expression of the same divine life within you. That's an idea that could heal the world if it could get centered and anchored and spread, radiated outward into pockets where disagreement often in our culture right now becomes embattlement. So we get to practice these things right here together in this community so that we are a radiating center of peace and greater harmony in the world and the activity of divine life and divine wisdom. So wisdom says to us, slow down in this process. Let the frenzy go. Listen deeply to what's calling from your soul, your heart, your mind when it's connected to divine mind. To stay open, to be teachable, to be curious and willing to learn something new, and to stay grounded in our purpose, which lifts us beyond personal preferences and the ideas we have in our personality and our opinions. The question is not so much, what do I want? What serves the highest good? That can be a question in your own life. It's a question we've been asking in leadership in this community now for 6 months. And we have been asking you to participate in that conversation by letting us know, how do you perceive the highest good for this community? So we keep moving forward in the questions that are in front of us so that we are creating the new field of this community together. What is it we choose? Do we choose to create a field of fear? Or do we choose to create a field that is rich in love and harmony, openness, clear communication, the courage to stand and say something that might not seem in your mind to be the popular opinion, but it's important that you know what that question is for you and to hear what the answer might be from the wisdom in the community. And then all of that gets reflected, this expansion of spirit and divine wisdom gets reflected in the ways we behave together, in the actions we take in this community together, in the programs that are available, because it's about becoming embodied expressions of spirit. To move into the actions that are guided by spirit is about embodied spiritual life within yourself and within how this community is agreeing to be together and what we are providing for one another. What is ours to do now? And how do we want to show up together as community? And how do we serve together? One another, serve the whole of this community, and serve beyond this community into the wider community of Oahu and globally. Can we stretch, are there those of us who can stretch our vision to include global shifts for a greater good? So what do we believe about this season, and how will we live in this season? I hope we show up with generosity to support one another. I hope we show up with spiritual maturity, even as we know that's a growing practice. And that's practice is what this community is for, so that we can be better at being together, so that we can be more encouraging, more giving, more loving, so that we can create that energy of peace that radiates from here outward to touch other lives that are in perhaps deep need of that peace and that presence of love. How do we become what we are meant to be as a community? By listening to that inner wisdom, by calling forth that voice of spirit that wants to answer the question for us, what next, Unity Church of Hawaii? What next? And then we create a system and a structure, an architecture, if you will, that becomes a vessel for the movement of spirit. None of us maybe thinks of systems and organization and procedures and policies and bylaws as anything that has very much to do with a mystical nature of our lives or as spiritual activities. When the truth is, when grounded in divine wisdom, these things that are systems and organizations are deep spiritual work, because they give us a place for the whole to be created, held, nurtured, and to go through the changes that will take place. Because spirit deserves a sacred container through which it does the work in the world. And we all are the vessels individually that bring the presence of Spirit into action in this world. The hands, the feet, the face, the voice of Spirit. They're all here in this room. So when we're moving into a new season, a season of change in this community, we ask questions. What wants to come with us forward in this journey? What wants to be totally created anew, to be birthed anew in this space? Who do we, each of us, have to become to make space for that new creation? What do we have to release? What wants to be let go? There's always something that wants to be birthed, and there's always something that wants to be hospiced when a change is taking place. Deeply spiritual work. So we invite you today to join us at our town hall to further engage in this deeply spiritual process of what does it look like in the future here at Unity Church of Hawaii. And here's something, an illustration that can help us see about these changes that we are looking for. I'd ask you to look at the stained glass behind me. And when you see it from sitting where you are, you recognize that it's one whole image. One beautiful representation in an artist's mind of what this community represents. But when you move closer, you see that there's this inherent beautiful design, the many colors, the patterns, the overall image, but all the little pieces as well. And that the beauty of that whole is dependent on all of those many pieces. Different colors, different sizes, different textures. All those pieces of glass that are held together by a structure that gives it coherence and form. If one piece is cracked, it matters in the overall image of that stained glass work. If the frame is weak, it matters because it could fall apart. If the light is missing, it matters. If the pieces aren't in relationship to one another, it matters. It changes the impact of that beautiful image. So the beauty of the whole depends on more than any one thing. It depends on the wholeness, on the totality of all of it working together. What a beautiful image for a spiritual community, particularly one that has had a gorgeous stained glass created for it some years ago, to give us inspiration of what is important in this community. Represented by Diamond Head at the top of the image, that we value, treasure, and cherish this Aina and this location. That there is light illuminating this space. That there is the circular representation of the unfolding of a plumeria blossom from its bud through its seasons of changes to its wholeness. How lovely, I get to wear it and smell it today. To representing that we are on this lovely island surrounded by abundance of the ocean. The totality of the pieces make up the beauty of what this stained glass represents, just as the totality of each of us individuals together make up the beauty of this community. So join us as we move through wisdom and experience the grace of Spirit this afternoon and going forward. I'd ask you to take a deep breath with me and center yourselves into that space of the light of truth that lives within you. Open your heart and your mind to that presence, allowing God's movement within you, letting it expand within your physical space until you have the sense that the energy form extends beyond your physical body boundaries. Recognize that you are swimming in this ocean of God's grace always. Welcome that opening in your life, in your journey, in your questions. And today, if there's a question on your own heart for your own life, maybe you choose to say, oh, beloved presence, what next? Show me, inspire me, guide me, bring me to wholeness in all of my life. Guide me through the changes, and let your expression of love, peace, harmony, and joy make up the journey of my life. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our debts as we forgive each other, and so forgive ourselves. And leave us not in times of trial, deliver us from fear. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Let all the people say amen, in every tribe and tongue. Let every soul in song rejoice to see the kingdom come. Let every hope and every dream be born in us again. Let all the world sing with one voice. Let the people say amen. Let all the people say amen, in every tribe and tongue. Let every soul in song rejoice to see the kingdom come. Let every hope and every dream be born in us again. Let all the world sing with one voice. Let the people say amen. 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 Amen.
Mahalo to the extended Zamar team right here. Put your hands together. Mahalo again to Reverend Margie for your beautiful words, for kind of setting the tone for what's happening, what's coming. So please put your hands together for Reverend Margie. At this time, we set our hearts on this moment, right here, right now, for the edification of this body, this church, this community. And that comes in the form of the tithes, the offerings that you are going to give. If you are giving money, fantastic. If you are not giving money, give love, please. Give love, give your support. Give your intention of creating this beautiful place that is supportive to the world, really, is what it's about. And if that is the offering that you're giving, which we all should be giving, fantastic. So please go ahead and close your eyes and kind of get centered on this. Mahalo ke akua for allowing all of us to be here, to allow us to share this responsibility of carrying this light forward. And this comes with the support monetarily, the support in love, the support in aloha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to call our ushers, or be aware of our ushers as they hand the bowl down. Just kind of help them go ahead and pass it down the aisle there. Thank you so much. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Amen.
Well, moving on up.
Moving on up.
Time for rebirth.
Moving on up.
Today we claim everybody's word. Moving on up.
Moving on up.
Give praise and mirth.
Moving on up.
We affirm this is heaven on earth.
Here we go. Feet can walk on the water. Water can move to wine. Doesn't it? I don't know the words. In faith in the divine. It's time to start a new chapter. Who knows what will attract? As long as we live, we share and we give. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, we're moving on up.
Moving on up.
Time for rebirth.
Moving on up.
Today we claim everybody's word. Moving on up.
Moving on up.
Give praise and mirth.
Moving on up.
We affirm this is heaven on earth.
I'm gonna try that again. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Feet can walk on the water. Water can turn to wine. You don't have to be a martyr to have faith in the divine. Time to start a new chapter. Who knows what will attract? As long as we live, we share and we give. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, we're moving on up
Moving on up.
to the east side.
Moving on up.
Little deluxe apartment in the sky. Well, we're moving on up.
Moving on up.
Give praise and mirth.
Moving on up.
We affirm this is heaven on earth.
That's good.
We affirm this is heaven on earth.
Heaven on
All right, moving on up. Thank you, Zamar. And as our ushers move on up to the stage, we want to just say a great big thanks to everyone for attending today, both online here and in person. Please enjoy brunch in the courtyard after service, and then reminder, 12 p.m. town hall meeting as well. And you'll see, well, actually, you don't have the little cards with you, the little papers. You'll have them afterwards. Okay, so there will be slips of paper on the table for you to fill out questions if you have to leave, and then hand them into one of us. And so we just take this time right now just to give great thanks to this offertory. God, we know that you are the giver, the gift, the in-between, and the all in all. We say thank you for this time, for these treasures, for this team. And so it is. It can be no other way. Amen and amen. Thank you. And as we prepare, let us just stand. Let us rise. I'm going to invite my prayer chaplains up to the front for prayer support. If you have a prayer on your heart, just see one of our prayer chaplains after service today, and they will hold the high watch with you. And as we connect hand to hand, heart to heart, let us close out today's worship service together.
Kama lama lama o ke akua e ho'opuni mai o kou, ke alo o ke akua e malama mai o kou. Kamana o ke akua e malama mai o kou, makahi o kou e hele akua ai, he akua no mahalo ke akua. Amen, amen, amen.
Together knowing that the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I believe in a people of all nations to join in together more love. I believe in the world and giving our love will make heaven, heaven on earth. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Aloha, oe. Aloha, oe. Eke ona noho I kalipo. One fond embrace. Ahoy, until